Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Toria.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy.
I am going to warn everybody right now, this second.
The curse words are on their way.
There are going to be expletives throughout this entire episode of the Nightly Rant. You have been warned. So, why don't you tell everybody what you convinced me to go to tonight?
I did not convince you.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Anyway, so the city of Los Alamitos is... I don't know if they've decided yet or if people are still speaking. My bet is people are still speaking. But is deciding on whether or not they will uphold the new California Values Act. Is that what it's called?
Right.
In their city. So, this whole thing got national news coverage before today. I saw it posted from the Washington Post. I saw it posted from somewhere else that's not in California. It got national news coverage. So, just guess how many people showed up for the Los Alamitos, let me say, the second smallest city in Orange County, city council meeting tonight. And there are 10 chairs in their city council chamber.
They estimated, from what I saw in the news, 150 people.
I'm going to say there was more.
I think it was closer to 500 people.
I think so too.
At its max. Towards the end,
yeah,
it was about 150 people. When we first got there, about 150 people. Well, let's not forget, we got there 45 minutes before the public meeting.
Right.
And there was 150 people. It couldn't even fit in that stupid little...
Right.
Poor excuse for a city council chamber. How could they not think to use the high school that was right up the street from there?
Well, that probably would have been more intelligent, but I don't know.
So here's the irony of this situation. You know, we show up there and, you know, we talked about our position about how, you know, if they're going to do something like this, that the laws have to be clearly defined, which ones are ones where we're going to turn people in and which ones are we not. Right. Because just like any other punishment, I put it in quotes,
right,
there's severity, right? That's why there's, you know, first degree, second degree, third degree murder. Same thing with manslaughter, etc.
Right.
To give degrees of something, right? So what's wrong with this situation?
You mean what was wrong with the situation tonight?
Yes. What did you see that was like, excuse the expression, fucked up?
Well, we sat down and we're starting to see all of the people who are, I don't know, a little bit crazy pop up. Like, there was the guy, and we initially saw him, remember, standing on whatever street that was with his big-ass sign. And I was like,
the Mike Pence lookalike.
I have to see what that guy's sign says.
Yeah.
So he was the first problem.
And people, you got to hear this, okay? You would have sworn that he was Mike Pence.
From a distance,
From a distance. You would have sworn it was. You would have been like, holy crap, Trump sent Mike Pence to Los Alamitos City Council meeting. I'm not kidding you.
So let me tell you what his sign said.
So here's his sign that Mike Pence was holding right here.
On one side, it said, ICE hotline, call now. And then it gives the phone number. And he was brandishing this big-ass bold sign at passing traffic on the street.
And what does the other side say?
I didn't get a picture of the other side, but it was something similar.
Yeah, it had like a funky number on it too.
Yeah.
Or a website or something.
And there's a bunch of American flags all over it. He made it red, white, and blue.
But don't forget Mike Pence, because he plays a role in a later part of this discussion.
And then,
Mike Pence. Don't forget Mike Pence.
Also,
that's going to be the name of the episode. Don't forget Mike Pence, Los Alamitos.
Okay. There was also, he's clearly on the let's kick out all of the immigrants side of it.
My God, all the way on that side. Like, there's no room.
Then on the other side, they have their own breed of crazy.
Where nobody should be, they own the land, and nobody should be here but them.
There was a woman wandering around, like, shoving her way through all of the crowds.
1 second. I realized something could be taken out of context by what I just said. She pointed out that there was a guy all the way to the right. Like, can't go any further to the right. You're going to kick everyone out of the country that's not supposed to be here. Period. Good, bad, indifferent. That's what he wanted. Okay? Then I was pointing out that there's a person all the way to the left who she didn't think anybody should be deported, whether you're a criminal, whether you commit a violent act. None of it mattered to her because, quote, native-born citizens commit more violent acts. Well, you know what's really stupid about that? It doesn't say per capita, does it?
Uh-uh.
Well, then, how accurate is that? If you've got 300 million people in the country, and let's just say 50 million of them are illegal immigrants, and I don't like that term, but for lack of a better term, there you go. Undocumented immigrants is a better term, okay? Let's say, just for sake of argument, that there's 50 million. That means there's still 250 million on the other side. How's the 50 million going to win that battle?
Okay, are you done with your tangent in the middle of the story?
How are they going to win the battle?
They're not.
Exactly. Finish your story.
Okay.
Remember that. Mike Pence can't win the battle. Keep going.
Mike Pence, dude, far right. On the far left, there is this little teeny tiny, and she was very short,
Yes.
belligerent woman with like a flashlight and her phone, and she's like shining her light in people's face. So she was...
But what I admired about her, okay, hold on. I admired one little thing about her, okay? Trying to be the guy who's taking it all in and understanding where people are coming from. Trying to be that person.
Uh-huh.
I hear, wacko Mike Pence over there, and I don't say shit about him because he's over there. Remember, I said there's more about him. It's coming. It's coming. Now, back to what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying.
Can I finish now then?
Can you tell me what I was saying first?
I don't remember what you were saying. You were on some tangent. But I'm sure what I'm about to say will remind you of where you were going.
Go ahead.
My whole point.
Her entire point.
This lady, belligerent, and on the left. Mike Pence, dude, belligerent, and on the right. So there was belligerent people on both sides. Equally as loud, equally as angry.
But the lady that was to the far left had huge balls.
Giant ones.
Like
they were bigger than she was.
They were. She was like 4 feet tall. They were like 6 feet tall. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, she had huge balls. I mean, like, when she was speaking in the front of the people, literally people were yelling at her because, they're really freaking rude, to tell you the truth, both sides. And she turns around and she yells at the top of her lungs, "Shut the fuck up!"
While she's speaking.
And then turns back around.
City Council.
And it turns back around and continues to address the city council.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if I'm sitting on the board of supervisors and someone does that, I might lose my shit up there. I might laugh. How do they not laugh? How?
Years of practice?
My God. Is that what a politician's all about? They just, act like a fucking robot?
They were texting under the table, sending funny texts.
I bet you.
Yeah. So, there's these crazy people.
Oh, did I think of some bad things?
And amongst all of these lunatic people, there are all of the reporters. Of
course, because where would the reporters be? Do you think they'd be with the people who have serious things to talk about? Or with the buffoons who are parading around?
Okay, so we talked to one really nice reporter.
Yes.
He gets a thumbs up.
He was super cool.
Super nice. And it was funny. It was so funny. He was talking to the Mike Pence lookalike. And I have my picture of the Mike Pence lookalike is of him talking to this reporter guy. FYI. So that's funny. I think
Mike Pence. Don't forget him.
Once we find out who he is, when his news article he writes comes out, I'm going to email him that picture. Okay, that's beside the point. So he's talking to this guy, and this guy is like, deport all these people. Only white people are allowed in this country.
He needs a Tide Pod.
Or 7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
7.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. He's going on and on about only people who are born in this country should be allowed in this country. Okay, so he's clearly a fucking idiot. There's the first F-bomb. Clearly a fucking idiot.
I said it a while ago, honey.
I missed it. My apologies.
Yeah.
Okay. And I make eye contact with the reporter guy by accident because you know I don't like to make eye contact with people.
Yeah, you thought he was cute. It's
no.
Okay.
I was alarmed by what I was hearing as I walked by, and then I looked up and there was accidental eye contact.
Okay.
Not a real comfortable situation.
Okay.
Reporter guy rolled his eyes. Rolled them harder than Anfisa from 90 Day Fiancé.
Yikes.
Rolls her eyes.
That's an eye roll if it's bigger than that. Holy hell.
So A+. Then I see a reporter guy talking.
I think he said he was from Orange Coast College or something
yes.
like that. Yeah.
I see a reporter guy talking to somebody on the other side. One of those women holding the banner.
Oh, the refuse fascist.
Yes.
Or fascism.
Refusefascism.org. Those people.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Not advocating this website.
Beware. If you go
It's
to
alarming.
that website, we do not advocate what they have to say. And I'm a little worried that if you go there on a computer, you're going to have a virus.
I only endorse the word fascism, not the website.
But just saying, you might get a virus. Don't go there.
Okay, so I see him interviewing that person. And I'm like, huh. And then I make eye contact again, but this time it was on purpose, no accident. And I get the same eye roll. And I'm like, huh, this is interesting. This dude doesn't seem to be on either side of the issue. He just thinks people are lunatics. And then who does he come talk to next? Crap, damn it. I shouldn't have made eye contact the second time. I set myself up to be assaulted by press. But that's okay. He was nice. I'll forgive him this time. So all that goes down.
Well, we'll see how nice he is when the story comes out.
Yes, I may change my mind. I may, add matching wedding rings to him and the Mike Pence guy before I send the picture.
I like it. That's a kudos right there.
Anyway, so the evening progresses. You made some friends?
Yes, I did. I made friends with this really super cute little couple. And I think they were maybe 19 or 20, around there. What'd you say?
He had shiny shoes. She had shiny pants.
He had the coolest purple shoes. Loved it. And she had those really cool purple pants.
Yeah.
And they were just cute together. They really were.
They seemed really nice for the 35 seconds I stood there talking.
They were super nice. Both of them were super nice. They were clearly into each other, which was super cute. And what was interesting was they had extremely similar but not identical viewpoints, which I liked. It wasn't like one of them was just, yeah, sure, I'll follow. I think you're cute. Or vice versa.
I see.
They seemed to genuinely like each other.
And then somehow you met the dude that you were talking to.
Yeah, he was standing his name was Aaron. Shout out, Aaron, if you're listening. Send us an email.
We did tell you to
Send us an email,
We hope you
Aaron.
actually did.
info@yogispodcastnetwork.com. And hey, if you're one of the crazy people that was out there, send us an email. We got a gift for you.
A free gift.
Just send us. Come on.
Free gift.
You can
no
get it.
commitment.
It's nice. And you just stick it on something. It's awesome.
Yeah, A+.
Remember that.
I forgot about one of the other crazy people, and he's important to the rest of the story. There was a guy. The little...
pervy racist Santa.
No, not him.
No? Well, he's important to the story, too.
Well, you can talk about him in a minute.
Okay, because I want to get back to Mike Pence.
But this guy's important to the rest of the story.
Yes, I understand.
The Hispanic guy who was live on his phone the entire time.
Yeah.
When we first got there, he was egging on the Trump supporters on the right-hand side. And he was yelling things at them and trying to piss them off so that they would scream. He's the cause of the first two chant
But
battles.
ask yourself a question. It makes me think about something. You know when they have, wasn't it Shakespeare says, "Thou doth protest too much"?
Uh-huh.
Well,
of course.
She kept yelling that they're trolls and they're paid to be here. They don't really believe this. Blah 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 blah. What if that's her?
It's
what if
possible.
she's the one who's a troll and who's paid to be there?
I'm sure there were at least some people there who were paid to be there.
Because
minus the reporters.
The guy you're talking about, he made fun of them afterwards too, saying, "Oh, look at how stupid they are. Ha 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 ha, isn't it funny? Check him out," chanting again. And he wasn't responding back to them like he was at first.
Right.
He was just laughing at them at that point, which means to me he was getting what he was shooting for.
Right. So he was live on his phone the entire time. He was causing all sorts of drama. He's very important.
Yes.
Then...
Well, especially because he is connected to the lady with the big balls that we talked about. I don't know if that's his girlfriend, wife, what she is.
It wasn't his girlfriend. There was a different guy there who was...
But they were...
her
they
boyfriend.
were extremely friendly, those two. They knew each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think they knew each other in the biblical sense of the way.
I think they've protested together before.
Yeah, I think they know each other. Anyway, it's okay.
Okay,
there's nothing wrong with knowing each other.
So this guy, who's live the entire time, is like screaming at the TV speaker because this little old lady is like speaking, and he's saying, "Maybe you should go get a job," and he's like heckling her.
You lazy B word.
And I was like, I can't handle it anymore. Shut up! And then I heckled him a little bit. I told him that
maybe you should ask if he has a job.
How does he know she's lazy? He's like, ask her if she has a job. And I was like, how about I ask you if you have a job?
I know, I heard that.
So
I about died.
I heckled him a little bit, but it was okay. And then, up walks racist Santa.
Pervy racist Santa.
Pervy racist Santa.
Yes, he was pervy. He was checking everyone out.
And what did pervy racist Santa say to our Hispanic live person?
He told him he tried to cut in front of our friend.
Yes.
And our friend said to him, "Hey, no cutting." And he said, smart ass pervy racist Santa guy says, "I thought there were no borders. I thought there's no such thing as being an illegal immigrant. Why can't I go in front of you? I'm moving faster than you." And the other guy's like, "Ha, yeah, right, dude. Just shut up.
Right.
It's my turn, not yours." Mm-hmm. But, he's trying to just push his way front. And didn't work. Okay. So that's when he says to him, I can't remember the exact words that he used. Do you remember the exact words that he used?
How about you learn to speak some English?
How about you learn to speak some English?
And let me point out, Hispanic guy, his English, better than mine.
Yeah.
And I don't speak with it very much accent. I accept some of it, but there's not very much. His English was better than mine. And this guy is telling him to learn to speak English.
Yeah.
What?
Strictly because he looks Hispanic. Now, okay, not your stereotypical thought process here. He didn't look like, your stereotypical, from the movies guy who's protesting Hispanic. There wasn't the stereotypical, Black Power person there. But
no.
Every group was represented in some way. It was really weird.
Yes. Okay. So then, what did you say to racist Santa?
I said, "Hey, just chill out, man. He's been waiting here for a while. Let him get in, and stop insulting him."
And then what did racist Santa say to you?
And racist Santa said something about, what did he say to me? He said, "I told him not to pick on the. Well, you know what? It's the truth. He's a I don't remember what he called him. Something nasty. Though.
It was something racist. I can't remember the exact word, but
nasty.
I don't even think I'd repeat it if I remembered it.
Pissed me off, and it pissed me off, and so I said something more to him again, like that. Hey, I just told you to shut up.
And then up cruises.
And before I said shut up, though, I said I just told you to knock it off, and he says to me, shut the fuck up. And I said, you know what? And I stood up and I said, you shut up.
And
well, here comes Mike
Pence.
Mike Pence.
And I'm quiet this whole time.
Up to the rescue of racist, rude, disgusting, gross, pervy Santa.
Yes.
Yes, all those things apply to you.
So then,
I hope you're listening, you racist dirtbag.
So then, Mike Pence
comes to the defense of his friend. Now, Mike Pence, I think if Mike Pence had an erection, he'd make it to past my knee.
Oh my God! Did you really?
That's
just
for
go
how
there?
big he is. That's it.
He was a teeny
That's
tiny
Mike
little dude.
Pence. Okay, Mike Pence, the guy that was at the Los Alamitos meeting, not Mike Pence, the vice president. Fooled all of you though, but not that same Mike Pence. Different Mike Pence. But I'm telling you, short guy. So all I do is I flex out my chest and I stand up tall and I don't hunch my shoulders. And I'm doing it right now. I don't know why, because none of you can see it. But I'm doing it for you, I guess.
I can see it.
And she seems to like it. Anyway, there's this deal where I was telling Toria earlier, the dude was crapping his pants.
Well, let's be real. When he walked up, I said something sassy. That is when I got involved. I told him...
Yes.
I told creepy
pervy Santa that he was a racist.
And bro
turned around and said you were racist for calling him racist.
But Mike Pence is the one that pushed my shoulder.
Yes.
And told me to stay out of it and shut the fuck up.
And he assaulted you.
And then he kept getting louder and louder.
Exactly. He would just yell. And I kept saying to him, I do remember now. I kept saying to him, thanks for reminding me. Okay. I kept saying to him, just leave her alone. Get your hands off of her. Don't touch her again. And he was just like louder and louder. And I'm like, you know what? Just because you go loud doesn't mean you right. And then you jumped in and said the same thing. I screamed
at the top of my lungs. Thank you, 7 years of Royal Canadian Air Cadets. I have a loud ass voice when I want to.
Holy
and
crap.
I yelled at the top of my lungs. Just because you think you're louder does not make you right.
Exactly.
And where did he go?
But then he was still standing there, pooping his pants, and then he sees the police officer who had been on the inside come to the outside. And he says, Officer, he threatened my friend. I said, I didn't threaten him. I called him a racist.
And the little woman that we talked about earlier with the camera and the lights,
yeah, she
caught
turns
the whole
the camera on and catches the entire incident on video to make sure that if I got in trouble, I was covered to prove that I did nothing wrong. And that's the point. I want to point something out to people. We've had a conversation. I don't remember what episode it was, but it's between the first one and this one. Aren't I clever? It's in there somewhere. And we talked about how people have to take time to understand another person's perspective on things. Because if you don't take the time to understand another person's perspective on things, how do you know if you align with them or not?
Well, exactly. When we first got there, we judged her as rude because she'd shoved her way past us multiple times.
And now we're saying she has giant balls.
But after we took a minute...
In a complimentary way, by the way.
We listened to her perspective. We heard what she had to say. There's respect there now. Because we're enlightened.
Well, and what I've been trying to do, everybody, I'm not trying to advertise, but at the same time, you know what? What the hell? It's my opportunity to say whatever the hell I want. So I pay for the airtime for this. So yeah. Anyway, what I feel is that, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Where was I? You
what
weren't
I
paying
feel.
any attention.
No, we talked about the woman and becoming enlightened, and then you kind of said a bunch
I was saying
of words,
what I've been trying
no
to
point.
do. What I've been trying to do is take things from the perspective of a lawmaker.
Okay.
That you have to sit there and they were explaining, even the judge said there's processes that they have to go through. They must follow this pathway. And, in order to do this and spend this money, they have to have this report, and that study done before they can get the money. So there's like ropes to go through. And what you're supposed to do, like anything else, does that sound like any other job you've ever had, that there's like policies and procedures you have to follow?
I don't know, every
like every job, right? I mean, there's no such thing as a job that doesn't have policies and procedures you have to follow. Yet they're complaining that they can't do their job because they're not aware of some of these policies and procedures. Well, isn't it your job to get to know these policies and procedures?
Yes.
And that's why what the dude said in the voice of OC, it's like, it's mind-blowing. Because what he said, he was talking about how my opponent had to go to LAX to become the only elected official to meet Donald Trump.
Right.
That's because her husband is a bigwig in the Republican Party, and he's good friends with Dana Rohrabacher, who is good friends with Donald Trump. So they're all kind of good friends. Well, this guy points out that there's not a lot of focus within the board, and he says without taking sides, it would have been nice to have a sitting county supervisor exhibit that same kind of focus and allow the public meeting to proceed. In other words, instead of going for your personal pleasure of greeting President Trump at the airport, who they then went to a party with later that night. So it's not like she wasn't going to be able to see him after the meeting. It wasn't like her one chance to meet the president. It was, I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go run over there to meet the president because I want to do that. All right? And then he says, see, that's the real challenge for our current crop of county supervisors. They hate their day job. And I have to agree with him.
Those words pretty much speak for themselves, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, you couple that with the chairman saying they failed.
They failed. Yep.
So, you know what? Here's what I think.
I would probably hate my day job if I failed at it too.
I think the ones that are at midterm, okay, they got, they're middle of their term. They're not up for re-election.
That's what Andrew Doe and
yeah, can't remember the other lady's name. It's another lady. But I think that those people who are not up for re-election, they're in the midterm, and I think they should be kind of given a chance to fix their mistakes.
And they'll have 2 more years to fix their shit.
Right. I think they should be given that chance. So, okay. So now, I've now scared the hell out of Mike Pence.
Mike Spence.
Mike's Spence. Mike Pence. He's pooping his pants. And really, guys, I didn't touch him. I didn't lay hands on him. I didn't bump chests with him.
You just got larger.
I just got larger and looked at him like, you don't scare me. Because he didn't scare me. But nobody's going to touch my wife and expect me to stand by there and be like a giant, I'm sorry, people, pussy.
Not that your wife couldn't handle herself.
Exactly, but I'm not going to stand by like a giant pussy and let that happen. Hell no.
Okay. So then, police officer dude, who, by the way, I have no idea what his name is, but that guy deserves a medal for
really
how
good
fucking
at his job.
Patient he was with everyone tonight.
And so good at his job. So good at his job.
Medal. And that guy is awesome.
He's an administrator at Los Al. I bet I could find him.
Just amazing. Okay, anyway. Then he pipes up that if the two of you touch each other, he's taking you both to jail.
Right.
And then what happened to our friend Mike Pence? He had to go change his underwear at home because he was gone.
But here's the funny part, people, and I wear this as a badge of honor because what we've tried to explain to you is this Mike Pence guy is the definition of lunatic. If you go to a picture dictionary and you look up the word lunatic, Mike Pence, that we saw tonight, the fake Mike Pence, he would have that picture. That would be him. The guy is a crazy lunatic, okay? And the crazy lunatic holding a sign screaming about the ICE hotline. That's what his sign was about, okay? That was like the topic of his sign was, they're gonna pour down ice on you. I mean,
hi everybody, this is Mike, and I just wanted to let you know that we had to cut this episode into a part 1 and a part 2. You can hear the second part by going to yogispodcastnetwork.com/TNR75.
Hi everyone, this is Mike, and I truly hope you enjoyed this show. You're able to subscribe to this show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher so as to never miss an episode. If by chance you did miss an episode here or there, you can catch up on all shows, past and present, by heading over to yogispodcastnetwork.com/TNR show. Thanks for listening.